From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Ants Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Kruger. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning. This is looking at Hornbrook, and as Brian says, the Hornbrook gang is back there. You can see the elk hanging out. What a great shot. Thank you, Brian, for sharing this photo. And you know what? Brian shared this from the free Weather NorCal app, and you can do the same. Do you want to see your photo right here on the morning update and even on Coffee with Kruger? It's very easy. Just send those photos through the free Weather NorCal app. All right, here's what we got for your Thursday, January 22nd, a look at your Kruger's Quickcast. Just a quick look at what we can expect here for today. And I think there's going to be some patchy fog for the valley, for parts of the coast, and even some of those mountain valleys in Trinity County, western Siskiyou County, Etna, Fort Jones, for example. But the clouds that we're seeing, that we have seen over the last few days overhead, of course, outside of any fog, right, has been the mostly cloudy skies, or even a few light showers to our south in central and southern California. That'll be the case again today, but the main aerial pressure is shifting southward. So that's going to bring a lot of that cloud cover along with it, as you can see, but still a couple of passing clouds here throughout the day today. But otherwise, yeah, plenty of sunshine and even warmer for today. You can see here that the ski park is still open, 25 inches at the top of Douglas, groomed and thin cover. Just be on the lookout for those hidden obstacles, unmarked obstacles, really. All right, so for today, temperatures in the low to mid 60s for your daytime highs. We're going to be looking at mostly sunny skies for the second half of the day. 50s for the higher elevations and upper 40s to low 50s, mainly low 50s for the coast. Now for tonight, it's actually cooling off a bit. We're going to clear those skies out a little bit, and that's going to allow temperatures to drop teens and 20s off to the north and east. Looks like mid to upper 30s to around 40 for the valley. Speaking of the valley, there's your 7-day forecast, and yes, I'm actually including it. I'm putting the word chance, at least, for Wednesday. At this point, I'm still seeing some discrepancies in the long-range forecast models, but bottom line, they're all beginning to align that there could be something that'll push through on Wednesday of next week. The intensity of it, still a little questionable as far as how much rain we'll see out of it. Could it be a lot? Could it be just a very little? We'll see. I think, if anything, most of that rain would be for places along the coast, inland, and even west of the valley in general. So there you can see that chance in there for places like Modoc County in the eastern mountains, and for Mount Shasta, maybe a chance for showers. Snow level's high, by the way, not to the point where I'm even going to put snow levels in there, but you get the idea. We have the potential for cooler weather and maybe some wet weather as well. So headlines haven't changed much over the last few days, kind of reading the same ones day in, day out, because we haven't seen much change, right? More the potential for that mountain valley fog and patchy fog for the Sacramento Valley. Above average highs have certainly been the case. And I do expect maybe a chance for some showers by the middle and latter part of next week. We're going to get into that in their deeper dive forecast, sponsored by Shasta Hearing Aids.
Hearing isn't just about sound. It's about being part of every moment. This isn't your grandparents' hearing aid. It's a smart hearing aid for modern life. It's Bluetooth enabled, easy to control from your phone with your personal prescription, delivering the clarity you need. All that technology at half the cost of competitors, so you never miss a moment worth hearing. With our Here For You program, you get personal care and support every step of the way. This is what quality care sounds like.
Well, it definitely feels like fog is something I've been talking about for a while. We haven't seen a ton of it, but there have been some mornings where, yeah, we saw some patchy, dense fog out there, kind of burns off a bit, even this lingers around a few days. You know, it's just been one of those things where it's still there. The ingredients are still there. We still have that temperature inversion, cooler air trapped in the valley, warmer air above that in the foothills, and that tends to give us that fog. But we really haven't seen it really just hold on like it did that last time we saw that Thule fog stick around for days on end, right? And even over a week. But taking a look at the forecast visibility, yeah, it's still looking at the potential, especially in the morning hours. The overall coverage, the overall extent of it, the density, this might be overdoing it, but just kind of illustrating the fact that fog is certainly going to be in the forecast, at least even through the weekend, most likely. Now, outside of the fog, there has been a lot of cloud cover out there the last few days. It's all thanks to this low pressure system right here. It's been spinning off the coast. It even brought a few light showers for central and southern California yesterday, and that'll be the case again today. But this low is shifting southward. What that's going to do is allow us to clear things out. You see a bit of a dry slot right here? This right here is what's going to be moving in over the next few days, allowing us to see more sunshine. I still think there'll be a couple of passing clouds here and there, but overall more sunshine and those warmer temperatures in the forecast. Meanwhile, we've got a fairly impressive looking storm system here. That's not going to impact us as high pressure will build back in here as we go into the weekend. Let's take a look at Futurecast here. There you can see some of the light showers. Clouds, still a little bit of cloud cover out there, right? Remember what I was mentioning here, but still a chance for a few light showers even to Southern California on Friday. Saturday, you can see plenty of sunshine moving on in, but it looks like more clouds coming in on Sunday. That storm system I was talking about, that's going to stay to our north as that high pressure kind of takes control a little bit here. So there's that area of low pressure I was talking about. That dives down to the south. We see more clearing. But what happens is as we go into Saturday, we have a nice little ridge right here. That's going to allow us to see mainly sunny skies. That ridge will flatten out a bit as this storm system rides over it, but you see how it weakens and maybe some light showers over the Pacific Northwest. But we've got our eyes on this storm system. We're beginning to see the long-range forecast models align a little bit more that the ridge of high pressure will finally break down just enough that we might get to see a little bit of shower activity. Now, as you can see, this is nothing significant. Snow levels will still be fairly high. I'd say somewhere around 6,000 feet, give or take. That is going to be borderline for the ski park, right? The ski park is, I believe it's 5,500 feet at the base. So yeah, it's going to be borderline, and there's a very good chance it may be in the form of rain down at the ski park. So yeah, we'll have to watch for that. And then it looks like on Thursday, that kind of moves on out, and Friday, another ridge of high pressure builds in. Again, the extent and the strength of this high pressure to the south is going to depend as to whether or not we see any more chances for rain after next Wednesday. But bottom line, we just don't see anything all that significant. Now, this is looking out 7 days, so it's really just going to impact these numbers and these colors that you see here are for next Wednesday. You saw that on Futurecast. So you can see it's not a lot of rainfall. Where you see the darker shades of green, that could be upwards of 1/4 of an inch of rainfall. And honestly, that might be overdoing it. But overall, this is not going to be a big rainfall event, but it certainly is going to be a nice change, and I'd say a welcome sight. I think we could certainly use a little bit more rainfall out there, although we are above normal for the season and the lakes are doing great, but let's get a little bit more in there, right? But you can see here, remember yesterday that sliver was mainly just along the coast. That has been extended eastward now because, again, a little bit more confidence that we may begin to break down that ridge that has been really preventing these storms or is expected to prevent these storms from moving on in. If that ridge can break down just a little bit more, that should allow more of that wet weather to move in. But again, the issue here is we could use more snowpack, right? And the issue is these are going to be warmer storm systems. So as a result, we're talking high snow levels. So even some of the snow that we have in some of those lower elevations that may be lingering may melt due to rain on top of that snow. Now again, we're talking about above normal temperatures, but barely, right? Because you can see here as we go into the weekend, early next week, we're actually right around normal and then just climbing above normal here for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of that next weekend. So looking at the lake levels, this is what I was talking about, right? We don't necessarily need the rain at this point, but it's welcomed. You take a look at the lake levels though, right? You're talking mostly over 130% of average. Look at Lake Shasta. Haven't really seen it move. In fact, it only went down 0.01. So you kind of get the idea. We're not seeing much change there either. Now, the wave heights are expected to increase here as we take you into the next 12 to 24 hours. As a result, no small craft advisory this morning, but by later this afternoon and evening, there is a small craft advisory. So be aware of that if you need to be on a small boat. The winds will be from the north at about 10 to 15 knots. All right, so let's take a look at your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. Yeah, there are those temperatures in the low 60s for your daytime highs. Temperatures are dropping a bit, though, as we go into the weekend and into early next week. 60 degrees for Weaverville, 60 out in Lewiston, and Ruth, about 65. For the North Coast, you got 52 degrees in Blue Lake, 61 degrees for Alder Point and Garberville, 60 in Orleans, 60 degrees for Hoopa, 60 for Smith River and Gasquet, about 62 degrees. We take out to Siskiyou County, some of that patchy fog out towards places like Scott Valley, Fort Jones, Etna, for example, but I do expect to see any clouds that we have this morning to pretty much clear out. That includes Modoc County with a high of about 54 degrees for Alturas, 57 in Aden. And for the eastern mountains, you're going to see those clearing skies this afternoon. Cooling off a bit, though, on Saturday and Sunday in the mid to upper 40s to right around 50. And yes, across the board, there is at least a chance for some wet weather. I'd say better chances for that measurable rainfall along the coast and west of the valley. Speaking of the valley, there's your forecast for today. Temperatures in the low 60s to the south. Chico about 62. Could see some of that morning fog. Mid to upper 50s here by the time we get into Sunday, Monday. And yes, even the valley may see a slight chance for a few light sprinkles or showers as we go into next Wednesday. Taking a look at Redding, a high of 66, 65 for Cottonwood, and Red Bluff, a high of about 64 degrees. There's your 7-day forecast for Redding. Temperatures down to the upper 50s by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And yeah, it's finally nice to be able to at least say there's a chance for some showers and actually kind of set that in stone a little bit, but actually putting it on the 7-day forecast. We'll see, but we're getting a little bit more confidence in the agreement between the long-range forecast models, at least, that at the very least there will be that little bit of shower activity by the middle and possibly even the latter part of next week. That is your morning update. I'll be back again at noon for the latest check your weather. Have a great morning.
When you see flashing lights, someone's life depends on us.
And while we're out helping crash victims, we need your help to keep us safe. Move over, slow down, it's the law, it protects everyone.
Our crews are out here every day, keeping the roads safe for you and your family.
We're often the last ones on scene, and we want to make it home safe too.
Protect those who protect you, slow down and move over.